The HTC 10 is officially announced, live streaming drones, and driving down Mario Kart's Rainbow Road in a Tesla Model S? That's what I like. Hello and welcome back to another one of these weekly things where I tell you about all the things that I found on the internet this week that I like. First up, obviously, HTC unveiled the 10. Probably not the best name for a phone, but a lot better than the direction they were going before. And it's a flagship. It's got the Snapdragon 820 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, 32 or 64 gigs of storage, 32 if you're in the US because for some reason they don't think we want more storage, 3000 milliamp hour battery, USB Type-C, Qualcomm Quick Charge 3, but some very, very interesting camera stuff. 12 megapixel rear facing sensor, 1.8 lens, 4K video, optical image stabilization, sounds awesome, but a 5 megapixel 1080p camera on the front facing cam with a 1.8 lens and optical image stabilization. So I immediately technically ordered two, but I ended up canceling the first order because I found out there's actually a pre-order coupon. If you decide to pre-order one, you can get $100 off using the coupon code HTC1008. So it was going to be $750 or so to have it shipped here with tax and everything. It turned out to be $650 as a result. Thanks to Max Lee for pointing that out. So I'm very much looking forward to getting my hands on this when it shows up sometime in May. I say as I'm still waiting for the LG G5 to show up because the bundle I ordered from B&H apparently not shipping till May either. Good job. Moving on, the thing that a lot of us have dreamed of since Back to the Future 2 is ever so slightly closer. There's a company out there that makes these flying water boards. They call them flyboards, but they're all powered using water. You have to be actually attached to the water and it goes through a backpack and propels water downward to keep you in the air. Well, apparently they've made a new one. This new one uses some sort of a turbine engine and to be quite honest, it looks kind of like a quadcopter. Maybe without the whole quad part of it, but with one big engine. They say it can go up to 93 miles per hour up to a max height of 10,000 feet for 10 minutes. But in the video on YouTube, they did it for about 3 minutes 55 seconds and they went a max speed of 55 kilometers per hour, which is significantly slower than that. But as a first test, that was really cool, assuming it's all real. Without being able to get hands-on with it and without anybody else having gotten hands-on with it, who knows if there's anything real to it. And one of the comments I saw either in the video or on the article or something said, "You want green goblins? Because that's how you get green goblins." That's one of the largest reasons why I loved this story. That and the fact that we're getting ever closer to this whole idea of having hoverboards. True hoverboards. Even ones that'll work over water. Moving right along, Lytro is a company that's had a really interesting history in terms of making cameras. They make these light field cameras such that after you take the image, you can tap on it to refocus it anywhere. They were doing this long before any of these cell phone companies were making phones that would do it just in the software. They were doing it all with hardware stuff. Well, they're apparently moving out of that whole consumer space into more of the pro side of things, and they're making their own pro movie camera. And this pro movie camera will allow them to take movies they shoot in 4K up to 300 frames per second. I think it was a max of 300 frames per second, and it'll do 4K or 2K. So I'm guessing 2K at 300, 4K at something less than that. Doesn't matter. You can take that footage and refocus any bit of it after the fact. Wow. As a person who makes a lot of YouTube videos and sometimes does get out of focus by doing this, that would be amazing. But then you look at the price tag, and there's not really a price tag. There's a subscription-based rental model that starts at 125 grand. Thank you, moving on. Awesome concept, but wow. If you guys could see the shelves around the room, you'd know that I'm big into drones. You can also check out my channel. I've got lots and lots of drone and quadcopter and everything related videos out there. Drone racing is something I'm extremely interested in, not something I'm actually going to be doing myself. But apparently, ESPN is also interested in it. As of this week, on Wednesday, they announced a partnership with the International Drone Racing Association. They're going to be streaming the US National Drone Racing Championships. It's going to be a 3-day event they're streaming on ESPN3, and then they're going to edit that down to a 1-hour special to put on the main ESPN channel. I don't think I actually have ESPN channels at the moment, but I may have to resubscribe when that happens because I think that would be really cool to watch them flying these drones, racing quadcopters around New York City and seeing all the sights and everything in high quality. It's going to be happening in August. Be on the lookout for that. Huawei unveiled their take on VR this week to go head-to-head with Samsung's Gear VR, and it looks like they're actually making multiple VR headsets with this. They're doing one for the P9 and one for the Mate 8 with a bunch of free content bundled along with it, like 4,000 videos or something. There's no info out there on pricing or availability. It's entirely possible this will be a China exclusive thing, but you know what? More companies coming into the mobile VR space, I'm still okay with that. Speaking of VR though, this week on Thursday, which is actually yesterday, the world's first 360-degree VR surgery was performed. It was live streamed, so you could take your little Google Cardboard or your VR or whatever you've got, plug into their live stream and watch it. Unfortunately, the recording is not available and I missed the live stream, so I have no idea how it went or anything, but looking at their site, it appears to have been successful and they say the recording will be up soon, so keep an eye out on their site. There will be a video sometime soon if you really want to watch a surgery in VR and be all immersed in it. Not entirely, I don't know. Facebook had an event this week. I think they called it F8. And of course they announced lots of new things. Facebook Live was a hot button topic, and as I mentioned in the intro, they unveiled the availability of live streaming to Facebook from DJI drones. I may have to pull my Phantom 3 standard out and see if I can do that. Although I did find out earlier this week from my buddy TK, if you have an iOS device, you can already stream to YouTube Live using the Phantom 3 standard or whatever Phantom device you've got. You'll have to check out TK's channel. He's got an archive video from his live stream. It was 720p, so it wasn't ultra high quality, and it was kind of stuttery because it's doing the live stream upload, so it was like 10 frames a second or less. But still very cool to think that you can actually take this drone that's not physically attached to anything and wirelessly stream the data back and then up to the internet. So cool. Speaking of that sort of thing though, back at CES it was announced by Livestream.com that they were making their first 4K camera. I say this because this is about how big it's supposed to be. They called it the Movie at the time, M-O-V-I, or Movie. That has apparently been rebranded for some reason, and it's going to be the first camera to stream live to Facebook. Not only is it going to be, it already has. I looked it up and there's already a video out there. It's like a 10-minute video where they live stream to Facebook. If you have not seen this thing already, it's very, very cool, but the quality leaves a little to be desired. Basically, you take an iPhone and you stream using that. If you want to do external audio, you have to actually plug the audio source into the iPhone because there's nothing on the camera. It's literally this big. It's a little cylinder with a 4K camera on the front of it. But then either using the iPhone that you're streaming from or using a secondary iPad to get a much bigger display, you can control the scenes. So you've got your big wide angle scene, and then from that you can snip out, this is one camera, this is one camera. It'll automatically detect faces and everything, and you just tap on it to go to that. You've got like a 9-scene layout and you pick which one you want it to go to. Or you can pinch and zoom, you can move around just by moving on the screen. This thing is so cool, I really want to get one in here and actually start testing with it, but it's not shipping until July, and it's $300 right now, $400 when it releases. That may be asking just a little bit much. Looking at the quality, I don't know, maybe. Anyway, this is going to be the first camera streaming to Facebook. If you're looking to get into any sort of live video and you don't want to have a big multi-camera setup, this might be a good option for you. Like I said, I'm seriously tempted and thinking about it myself, but I just haven't been able to make myself. Facebook also unveiled what they're calling the Surround 360 camera, and they're open sourcing the information about it. But in order to actually build this Surround 360 degree Facebook camera, it's going to cost about $30,000. So I'm guessing it's more of just a proof of concept, a way to say this is the way that you would make an excellent 360 camera, but probably don't do that. I guess I'm just curious to see where this 360 video craze is going, and I kind of want to get in on it. That's why I ordered the LG G5 bundle with the VR camera. Now moving on to a bit of Google news. You may have seen it if you follow Marques Brownlee, and most of you probably do. Google has unveiled these customized live cases. And essentially what it is, you go to Google's site, if you have the Nexus 6P, the Nexus 5X, or the Nexus 5, you custom design your own case for it, using your own photo, or using a map, or using a stock image of some sort. They ship you that case with your photo on it. It has a button on the back, and when you hold that button, it activates an NFC tag that will take you to get their app, and then you can reprogram the button using that so that when you press the button on the back of your device, you get an extra button to do stuff with. The app also comes with the ability to mirror the image that you've got on the back of your phone. It does not change, it's not live or anything. Either way, it is a very cool option, and it's like $35, which is a little expensive for a case, but it's a case with buttons on it, like actual additional button, so it could be a potentially really useful thing. I can't see myself ordering one, but I was tempted. Google also rolled out Android N Preview Build 2. They made some changes. They changed things like folder icons, they changed the multitasking window, they added a clear all button to the multitasking window. I'm very tempted to do a video about this, but I haven't had the time. There are quite a few different changes. I saw them all detailed on Droid Life, so I'll have the link to all that down below. If you'd like to see a video about Android N Preview Build 2, let me know. I can probably work that out. And then to wrap things up, there were several stories about Tesla. As it's been mentioned a few times before, although I don't know if I've mentioned it, Tesla has been kind of behind the scenes saying, by the way, there's a new Model S coming, slightly updated Model S that's going to be more expensive. That has apparently now happened. They've updated the front end, they've added in their bioweapon defense mode from the Tesla Model X, and they also added faster charging. So instead of a max of 40 amps, it's now 48 amps. Tesla also rolled out an update to the Model X, bringing in a bigger battery and a slightly bigger price. So it gets 17 miles longer range and it's $3,000 more expensive. They also ended up recalling the Tesla Model X this week because they had some issues with the third row seating. Basically that the third row seats can fall over in the event of a collision. And you know what, to go ahead and wrap things up because I've been going on for entirely too long yet again. It was unveiled this week that you can actually have the Tesla drive down the Rainbow Road from Mario Kart simply by activating the autopilot 4 times in rapid succession session. There's a video of it on YouTube. It doesn't really appear to do anything else other than the image you see of the autopilot. The road in front of you and behind you turns into a rainbow road. It's a neat, nerdy little feature. And you know what? That's gonna wrap it up from me for today. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for continuing to support this series and the channel. Remember to leave a thumbs up down below if you like this video and subscribe to receive more when they become available, and we'll see you again next time.